Good morning, y'all. Hey, it's Becky from PowerToolsWithThread.com. That's my blog. Boy, we got a lot of folks in here already. Yeah, the coffee's ready. I see Marilyn's here. Marilyn, I saw you at the Hoop Sisters open house with your very, very cool Power Tools with Thread t-shirt. Atta girl. That's awesome. Oh, Kathy's in from Lake Charles. We're heading to Baton Rouge in the middle of the month. It's already September. So we leave on the 12th and we're going to spend the night in Houston and then the next day in Lafayette. So we'll be driving through. And as we go by, I'll wave, okay? Because we're going right through Lake Charles. All right. We got lots of folks here. Yay, Kathy, you made your first live. Congratulations. You can check that off your list on your bucket thing. All right, you guys, we are continuing to sew on seasonal stitchy stars. That's what we've got. This is a wonderful table runner pattern from the Fat Quarter Shop. And it is the same pattern for all 4 seasons. You can just make it in 4 different colorways. And they have a list of all of the fabrics on the back of the pattern. And the pattern is either hard copy or you can get a download. I've got links to all of that below in the description box. And there are kits that you can get. And I got the fall kit. So I'll show you what we've done so far. If this is your first time joining me for this particular stitch along, we have done the evening star block. That was, let me pull it up so you guys can see it. So here, this is block number 1, the evening star block. And then block number 2 is the 8-point star block. Hi, Diane. Diane's in from Australia. She doesn't miss one. And this is the wool star block. Okay. And then we have cozy that we made yesterday. Here is cozy star block. And a lot of times in my embroidery videos, I mention using the Quilter's cut and press. I've got this in my Amazon store and I've got that link below as well. But I really like these, not for the cutting side. The cutting side, not so much. But I love the markings on this because I put it on my ironing surface and then I'll go over, I bring it with me to make sure that my block is going to be the 9.5 square. So I'll press it on here, especially when you've got blocks. When you have blocks that have got all these angles and points in them, right? And the fabric can go wonky. So what I do is I'll spray it real good with some of that Faultless Quilter's Magic spray. I love that stuff in the pink can. And I'll spray it with that damp and then make sure it's at the 9.5 or whatever size the block is supposed to be. And then press it without steam and just really, unless it's being difficult, and then I will steam it into submission. But that way I can make sure my blocks are the right size. That's very helpful because if you press them and you allow them to be wonky, when you press them, that's kind of like a muscle memory for them and they just stay that way. So let me put these back. So that's my pressing tip of the day, right? It's so funny. There are so many, I was talking about this yesterday. There are so many elements in quilting that there are tips and tricks to that you really need to know in order to have success. And the bad part about it is, and I know there's books and people have written all kinds of stuff, but you kind of just pick it up, here and there. So you guys are so funny because y'all are seeing each other over and over in the chat, and you guys get to talking amongst yourselves about stuff you're working on and what's going on in your world. And I just love that. I think that's great. It's like our own little sewing group. So, all right. Oh my goodness, really? Total operator error. Now I got to go back in and edit that out. Sorry about that. I forgot to press the record button on the camera. That's what happens. Okay. So yes, steam them into submission. Absolutely. What, you have to be the boss of the fabric. You guys can't let fabric tell you what to do. Absolutely not. So we are stitching the Glisten Block this morning. That's okay. Yeah, I know it happens. We're not worried about that kind of stuff. Let me get my paper to cover the measurements so you cannot see. This is what we're making today. Okay, that's what that's going to be. So we've got a checkerboard in the middle. We've got some half square triangles. We've got some flying geese. Oh, what did those trim to? Okay. I like to use my flying geese rulers. I've got some, I don't think I have, but I don't have one of those flying geese rulers for that size. Of course not. Of course not. That's all right. We can work around it. So draw a diagonal square line, and I've got, I'll show y'all what we're doing here. I've got my project board and I've got alphabetties. And if you're wondering why they are not sliding right off the project board, it is because I hot glued a little piece of fusible fleece to the back of these. And so now they stay where I want them. All right. So we have got 2 A squares, 12 B rectangles. We have 4 C squares, 4 D squares, 2 8 E squares, 2 Fs, 4 Gs, and 5 Hs. There's the inventory. All right. So I'm going to set this down right here. And they want you to draw a line down the center of the back of the A squares and then sew to 1/4 inch on either side of that, as in previous blocks. I am not a fan of that method because it is very inaccurate. So let me put this down here. I like to use a 1/4 inch seam guide. Okay, this is from Creative Grids. This is a real long one. I like to use this on like those 10-inch squares, a layer cake, because I've got a little block. I've got a smaller, little shorter one that I'm going to use. But so the seam guide has a line down the center. And so you align that corner to corner on the back of your piece, and then you draw on either side of it. So what you're doing is here they are. What you're doing is you, instead of guessing where the 1/4 inch away is from the center line that you drew, you're actually drawing your sewing lines. And I like to do these on a little rotary mat. So the idea is not to move it, but if you're me, you bump it and that happens, and that's okay. All right. Somebody asked me yesterday if the turn of cloth concept is used in this particular method for this block. No, it is not, because the blocks are to size when you sew them. On the turn of cloth concept comes in when you're doing and thank you yesterday, whoever said sew and flip. You got it right. Sew and flip method that Pat Sloan uses. And that's where you need to make sure that when you sew something and you flip it over, it fits. And we're going to do that here in a little bit. Okay. So we're taking these 2 A squares and we're putting them with 2 F squares, our little yellow ones. And we're going to sew them right sides together and cut down the middle. Let me turn on my iron. I've got a little rolling cart over here, you guys, and this has a Steady Betty on it, and this is the Cricut mini press. Okay. And I'm using my Guggenheim snips and my Guggenheim shears. They are the greatest thing since sliced bread, y'all. Tell you what. They are the bomb. Really, really like them. Somebody asked me if I like them better than the Ginger. They're pretty good. Scissors, they're good. I don't know. I'm very pleased with them. What are you guys talking about over there? Let me move you a little closer. I got my thing here on a roller. You love the little letters. Yeah, they're very handy. What machine am I using? Kathy, this is the Brother PQ 1500 SL. It's a straight stitch machine. It is so good. It increased the accuracy in my piecing 1,000% when I started using this. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, my husband's up. So this only does one thing, and it does it very, very well. It holds the pieces very tight, and they don't wobble. Fabric wobbles when the needle goes up and down in a standard sewing machine, because the needle hole is wide enough for the zigzag stitch. So that's why if you can put a single needle hole plate when you quilt, I recommend you do that if your machine comes with one. So we're going to cut these down the middle. Okay, and they want us to fold to the dark. And if you're new to quilting, that means you have a light side and a dark side. And so whichever fabric is darker, you want to put that one on top and then fold it over so that the seam allowance is under the darker fabric. The idea is that you'll see the seam allowance less. But that is not always true. Oh, I need to get my little pressing tools out of their little hole down here. Hold on. Let me get these. All right. These are from, I've got these linked below. They're to an Etsy store. Very, very good. Very nice. That also increased the quality of my quilting. Okay. These are good. Clappers are just now getting into the quilting world, but they've been around in the garment industry for centuries, literally centuries. So let me get my coffee. I doubled up on my coffee again. There's a video coming out this morning at 8 a.m. on Designs by Juju. She's got an adorable 8 a.m. Central. Diane, you need to refine your 1/4 inch seam allowance. Yeah, you do. And sometimes you can find, I got one of these. This is cool. So this is a 1/4 inch seam ruler. It's got a line right there, and you put your needle. It's got a hole. Put your needle in there, and there's your perfect 1/4 inch. And what I did is put that in the machine, and I set the needle in the hole like they show, right? And then I put my 1/4 inch seam tape on the bed of my machine. And that has helped so much. Yeah, you'll figure that out. So anyway, 8 o'clock this morning, Central. There's a new design coming out from Designs by Juju. You guys we're all here, right? Yeah. Am I going to the Austin Quilt Show? I avoid Austin at all costs. Sorry. I can't. I'm not going. No. You guys want a sneak peek? I think I can show you. I don't think she'll care. It's so cute. Hold on. Let me back this up a little bit. He's hanging over here. He is hanging over here. My stuff is crooked, y'all. I don't want you to be crooked. You ready? You want to see? Look. Isn't he precious? Look at him. How about that? It's an in the hoop scarecrow wall hanging. It's adorable. I had so much fun making that. Yeah, it is. It'll be out this morning. And I did a video for it on how to make it. So don't tell anybody, okay? It's not on the site yet. It'll publish this morning sometime. Her site and mine, Design Spray Juju. Yeah. So it was so fun to make. You work on both sides of the hoop. Okay. So we're going to take our A and F units, these little yellow units here, and put them with block C. And it matters which way the yellow goes. The yellow needs to point to my left. So let me put all my yellows pointing to my left on those little things. Yeah. Yeah, that is such a cute little thing. And you guys, the girls down at Two Chicks Quilting have a kit for it. So yours can look just like mine. I've partnered up with them. We've got all kinds of cool stuff in store for y'all. Y'all, we're going to have classes, everything. My Texas girls, you guys will be trotting yourselves down to Ganado. No, I hate the traffic in Austin. We take the 130, which is a toll road that goes around it. It gets you from Seguin all the way up to Waco and just skips. Not Waco, Round Rock. Just skips all of that. It's worth the money. That is the most miserable. Literally, they have 2 levels to I-35 in Austin. It splits, upper and lower, and they're both bumper to bumper, stop and go. It's horrible. And that city's been that way my whole life. It's always been like that. And if there's a UT football game going on, you can see the giant screen for the stadium from the highway. And people literally slow down to see what's going on in the game. It's terrible. That's miserable. Okay. All right. So here's our little unit like this. We're making these little guys. So good morning from Massachusetts. Yeah. We are going to have a beautiful Labor Day weekend, y'all. I hope the rest of the country is too. It's really nice. Now, I won't have a live on Sunday. Don't forget. We're going to be down at the coast, so I'm not going to be available. And we won't be home until sometime Monday afternoon. So our next block for Seasonal Stitchy Stars will be on Tuesday. So we're going to have a nice long weekend off. Y'all have plans for grilling? For getting together? Barbecues? End of summer, you guys. We were in the pool yesterday afternoon, and it was pretty cool in the pool. It finally doesn't feel like a bath anymore. It's really nice. Okay. These are looking good. And then these get attached to, I need 4 of the B rectangles. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and this goes like this. Yeah. You know, I haven't titled these morning musings on the YouTube, and I should, because they get a lot more views when I do that. People are just now figuring it out. Oh, she's stitching in the morning and talking about nothing. Let me go see what she's talking about. Y'all are funny. I get comments. Y'all are listening on your way to work, or hustling the kids out the door, getting breakfast ready, living life, right? I love it. What's going on? Oh, yeah. Vicky, nice. What have you got? You have an 86-inch TV. Oh, my word. I'm on the big screen. You guys know. Don't tell anybody I don't have my hair or makeup done, okay? All right. Glisten has a lot of pieces to it here. Lots of pieces. I think it wants us to press to B, rectangle. And I don't know, do I want to press that open or not? Okay. So these guys, I think we set them aside. All right, we're fixing to get into that whole turn and flip thing and the turnip cloth, and we'll talk about that again here in a minute. I'm gonna press this. I like to finger press my blocks open first. Do you guys do that? Oh, Nancy, is this what a retreat is like? I've never been to one. Oh, that's not true. I did go to one time. I went to one over at Three Oaks Retreat over in Yoakum, Texas. Yeah, I love sewing with you guys. That's fun. Burn ban in effect in Louisiana. Sandwiches and chips. Yeah, Connie's gonna sew. I did my curbside order this morning at HEB. That's a local grocery chain here in Texas. And I looked at paper plates. Do you know those things? They're like 10 cents a piece. You know, you're getting 85 plates for $8 or something. And I'm thinking, really? I know it's a little bit more for the curbside. I get that. I save money doing that because I don't impulse shop. Although they try to get me to do that because you get ready to check out and they're like, did you need any of these things? And they scroll these things past you and you're like, oh, I need that. I need that. But I tell Miss Thing on my watch to add stuff to my shopping list all the time so that I've got my list. I fill that and then anything. Anyway, I didn't get any paper plates. I'm not much on disposables at all. And it drives people who visit with me crazy because I don't use paper towels. If I can avoid it, I only use them for like bacon in the microwave or something like that. I just use dish towels. Why would you grab a paper towel, dry your hands, and throw it away? Waste of money. I'd rather spend my money on fabric. Okay, we've got to make these. We're going to make the flying geese units now. All right, so we need a B rectangle. We got to make 4 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, and then 2 E's for each one. Okay. So here's my philosophy on flying geese. You get them at Costco. Yeah, you know what? I don't go to. I should get them delivered. You're right. They're better there. Okay, 2 tips. If you're making flying geese, which means that your geese part is going to be at an angle, and you have a directional fabric, like my little flowers here are directional. See that? Start with the fabric to the side, and then it'll when it flips, it'll look right. Anyway, so here's the deal about flying geese. They want you to draw a line on the back. Let me put this up here. They want you to draw a line on the back of the little geese wing, okay? And then they want you to sew on the line and sew and flip it over and cut it off. Now, let me get in here real close so you guys can see. This is so important when you're doing this kind of work. Okay. If you've got the ruler corner to corner, okay, and I'm right-handed, and I'm sorry, the camera's on that side. If the ruler's corner to corner and you draw a line next to the ruler, then the line is not corner to corner. The line is next to corner to corner. So one side of this is shorter than the other, and it's the side that's hanging out from underneath the ruler. So with your fingers on the ruler, make a little mark on your short side. This is the side that will be cut off. And what you have done is you've created, you're going to sew on that line. But what you've done now is you've created room for this to fold over and meet the other side. And that little gap of room is called turn of cloth in the garment sewing industry. It's what they do with collars. It's how they make sure your collar doesn't flip up. Very important. So if the ruler's corner to corner, the line is not. And you want to make sure to leave that little mark, because when you go to marking a whole bunch of these all at once to get ready to do it, it's really hard to tell which side is the short side. So this is how you make sure that your flying geese don't stretch and torque when you're folding the fabric over. Is just make that little mark, and that's the side that you cut off. And I'm not paying attention to the direction of this fabric, so I don't care. It doesn't matter. I'm using a friction fine liner marker. That'll go away when I iron it. I don't know why they say these are not designed for use on fabrics. Maybe they don't want to be responsible for messing up fabric. They sure work well. Okay. All right. Those are all marked. Turn of cloth. Learn something new. Yeah. Lynn, weren't you making those dinosaurs? Was that you doing that? I know, Norma, right? It took me years. I'm like, why don't because you always mark your geese first and then sew, and then some of them fit and some of them don't. And you're like, what am I doing wrong? Well, what you're doing wrong is you're using the short side. All right. So here's the other concept with flying geese, or anytime you use the sew and flip method. All right. So this is the base shape. Maintain the integrity of the base shape. Don't let it change. So I'm going to put the part with the mark, and which way do I want to sew it? I guess I'll sew it this way. It doesn't matter so long as I have geese. Okay. And you put that on there. All right. So in effect, the tip of this fabric is actually just to the outside of that red center line on my 1/4 inch seam tape. Let me get these all sewn. Oh, I hear Harley barking. Daddy must have got the dogs up and took them out front. They'll come. I don't know if they're going to come in here or they'll go in the back. But figuring that out solved all of my wonky blocks. It just fixed it. But that's not on there straight. There we go. I've been quilting for 15 years. How come, right? Okay. We're maintaining the integrity of the base shape. All right. So what that means is when we cut everything apart, we still have the same base shape. They're just two different colors. Okay. So we've got the short side that we're going to cut off. Now this other side is long enough to fold over and meet. And you meet the point exactly. You don't want it wonky. Okay. You want to meet the point exactly and make sure your edges are straight. And then crease it, finger press it first, and then press with the iron. Use my clapper. Okay. And then when I trim this 1/4 inch, you want to cut off the back 2 layers. Okay. And we still have maintained the integrity of the base shape. It's just 2 different fabrics now. Okay. So that's how you get flying geese that fit, just like that. And then in the mechanics of how I do things. Oh, yeah, you guys, give me a thumbs up, would you please? That helps the channel a whole lot. Yeah, you used to pull and stretch and starch. You don't need to do that. All you need to do is mark the short side. That's all. And then everything else kind of falls into place. And there's no more pulling and stretching and forcing. I don't know why they don't teach that. That's insane. So in the mechanics of how all this works, what I will do is I want to press everything at one. I want to fold everything at one time, press everything at one time, cut everything at one time. So I've only got this iron in my hands once, scissors in my hands once, and it really improves the speed of your quilting and the accuracy of your quilting because of the muscle memory you get by doing the same thing over and over. So there you go. You got a little ironing tip this morning. And you got a little sewing tip, garment sewing tip. If I hadn't sewn clothes, I would not know about that and still be struggling. And when you're making flying geese, you do need to cut off. You can't just, well, let me sew this other corner on now, and then I'll cut everything at one time. Now, you can't do that because these overlap in the center. So if you're new to quilting, that might not have been clear. Okay, there's all 4. All right. So now we're ready to put this other side on. And because I already marked them, they've got their little mark. Now I know which side is going to be cut off. Okay. And they fit. Oh, good. Yeah. Okay, you have a love-hate relationship with flying geese. Yeah, I know, right? It's a game changer, you guys. It really is. It's amazing. I can hear the school bus going by. Oh, no, it's either the school bus or the trash guys. One or the other. I did a whole video on that. I also, you guys notice, I don't use the cutter on the side of the machine. Not when I'm doing flying geese anyway, because you're on a diagonal and things can stretch, and I don't want anything to stretch. So I just fold it over and it meets perfectly. And you've maintained the integrity of the base shape. See that? It works out great. Yeah. You sew the hair, just a hair. Yeah, that's right. Every machine will be a tiny bit different. You're absolutely right. And you guys will work, you know, you'll come up with your own little things in your head or whatever you do to make it work. All right. Okay. And then when I press them, I make sure that those tips are exactly where I want them to be, so they stay where they need to go, where I want them to go, not where they want to go. I can hear my washing machine in the background. Yeah. That's all right. You guys can type C. We know you mean so. It's no problem. We read typos. I read typos. It was so funny. I was last time I got my teeth cleaned. I started going to a new dentist, and I really, really like this one. But I got a new hygienist, and you know, it's so funny. They can understand what you're saying when you've got 6 things hanging out of your mouth and you're trying to talk. They speak full mouth. All right, I've got some pretty flying geese now. All right, so what do we need to do? We need to take the last 4 B rectangles. First, we need a swig of coffee. That's what we need. Need to bring you guys up a little bit. All right, so we are rocking and rolling right along. Autocorrect makes me crazy. Oh, me too. I hate that. What I really hate is when it gets it right and then it changes it to something I didn't mean. And I'm like, why did you do that? I was not happy. Cutting mat info, please. Which cutting mat? I don't know which cutting mat you're talking about. Jackie, you'll have to tell me. Fisker's rotating mat. Yeah, this is in my Amazon store. It's a Fisker's 8-inch rotating mat, and it's in my sewing and quilting favorites. I've got different sections, one for embroidery, one for sewing, one for RV, one for chickens, whatever. Yeah. Okay, so now I'm going to sew the flying geese to the rectangle B. And another little tip, if you're new to quilting, when you sew something that has a 1/4-inch seam, you need to hit that point. And you have something that doesn't have a 1/4-inch seam, sew the part with the 1/4-inch seam you got to hit on top. So let me do this. I'm going to mark right where those seams crisscross. That's where you want to hit. That's what you're aiming for with your needle. So don't sew blind. Put the piece you need to hit on the top. And if you got to mark it, then mark it. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that. Use every tool in the box. Let's see. I missed it. So much for that advice. Better to miss it. Why did I miss it? It doesn't look like I missed it from back here. The concept was correct, you guys. There we go. That's perfect. That's what you're after right there. And it wants you to sew or iron or press toward the rectangle B. Okay. Yep. Where did I get the 1/4-inch ruler with the hole? Oh gosh, Jules. Oh my goodness. I've had this thing for years. It says PM Quilting, www.pmquilting.com on it. Sunburst, Montana. I don't even know if they're still in business. PM Quilting, www.pmquilting.com. I've had that forever. Advice is good. Attempt is what lacks. That's hilarious. Cheryl. Hey, you got to be able to laugh at yourself, right? I probably messed it up because I marked it. And I marked it wrong. But these I didn't mark. We'll see how I did. If I need to go back and fix anything. Nope. That one's good. PM Quilt sold to another company. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. Had that forever. Yeah. Yeah. Yours, Marsha's sewing flips are a hit and miss. Yeah. See, these are all perfect. When I don't mark them, they work fine. I don't know what I did. I told y'all I don't draw. Drawing leaves a lot to be desired. Okay. RDH is Rock, registered dental hygienist. My mother was a dental hygienist for 30 years. Well, not full 30 years, probably 20. And then she went to dental lab school and started her own dental lab up in North Little Rock. She did that for years and years and years. Very, very talented. Being able to make retainers and teeth and all kinds of stuff. Extremely talented. Awesome. You guys are all over here making friends. I love it. All right. Those are beautiful. Look at that. Didn't those turn out nice? Okay. I'm giving you the gold secret to perfect flying geese. Mark the short side. Cut it off. What's next? Oh, we're going to make that little checkerboard in the middle. What does it want me to do? It doesn't tell me. Oh, I see. D's and H's. Put them together. Darks to the outside on row 1. Okay. I got so much stuff in my way here, y'all. Is that my Frito? Good morning, baby girl. Well, hi. You want to come say hi? There's Frito. Good morning, sweetheart. Yeah, you sleep good? Oh, good girl. I walked out of my sewing room the other day to a dead squirrel sitting on the carpet, and her little tail was just wiggling. She was so proud. I said, bah, go clean it up. That's my little Frito. Oh, watch the cords, Frito. Come here. Don't do that. You're gonna tear the computer down. Yeah, you're a good girl. Yes, I love you. All right. We just got her in March from the local no-kill shelter. She had heartworms and 2 kinds of osis diseases, and they fixed her up. She also had 9 pups that they had to abort because she was going through, she was going to go through that heartworm treatment. So patterns are Greek to you a lot of the time. It takes you forever to understand what they're telling me to do. Oh, no, Candace, don't feel stupid. I tell you what, I did one of my early videos. One of my earliest videos, I was doing Lori Holt Sew by Row. That was the most confusing. And I put it on a video. I'm like, why do they do that? Why don't they just say, see page such and such to do this? It's not you, Candace, at all. No, not you at all. It's them, for sure. Not a bit. So, Candace, you're coming on the cruise with me, right? Sew and Sale 14. How long does it take to get good at fabric choices? You know, Kathy, I've been doing this a long time and I'm still not good at it. It's not a gift that I have to be able to do that, which is why Valerie became my BFF at Scrappy Quilter when it was still open, because she was like a personal shopper. I did something wrong on this. That's another reason Moda was the first to come out with pre-cuts. No, I didn't do anything wrong. Everything's fine. I was mistaken. They were the first to come out with pre-cuts, and you know, the fat quarter was the original pre-cut, but it's so nice because fat quarter bundles, you know, these designers will make a line of fabric and they're all designed to go together. And so since that's what they do, and they're good at that, I'm good at some stuff, but I'm not good at that. So, you know, I defer to them on that. And I just buy a fat quarter bundle and let the designer do the heavy lifting and the fabric choices. Choosing fabric is the most stressful and longest part of quilts for me, because I struggle with it horribly. So, time to walk, Shirley. All right. Will you be safe? Watch your ankles. Yeah. It's very difficult for me. Now, some people can just go in and grab it, and God love them. That is not me. All right. So I am pressing on rows 1 and 3 to the outside and pressing on rows. What did I do there? Pressing on row 2 to the inside. So these will nest, and I'm not leaving anything to chance. I will pin them. Put the quote. Fiddling with little tiny things again. I've been doing those private lessons, and it's funny. They've kind of morphed from it. You know, it says to show y'all how to convert a paper pattern into embroidery design, but it's morphed into other things too. People are like, "Will you show me how to unzip a file and save it on my hard drive?" Sure, happy to do that. You know, we're talking sewing, we're talking embroidery, we're talking design center or IQ design. She had a baby lock yesterday. How to do things. All right, so I go in one side of the seam allowance and out the other at a diagonal on my pins. And one stitch over that seam allowance, pull the pin. And perfect. That's what I'm looking for right there. Yep. Yeah, Renee, look at you. You got somebody choosing. Oh, Nancy, you have issues choosing background fabrics? I've gotten pretty good at that. Christopher Thompson's Blossom is a good one. That's by Riley Blake. All different colors. I tend to stay away from solids, and I've kind of gone with like Lori Holt's Cloud or her Bee Basics, something like that. I kind of stick with those, and that seems to work out really well for me for background fabrics. But that's why, like on the back of this pattern, they tell you what your background's going to be or what they recommend will work, you know. Again, that's the designer doing her thing. Oh, that's a thing of beauty, you guys. Isn't that nice? You like curating fabrics. Liz does. Sometimes it's hard to know exactly what it'll look like. Yeah, I know. Yep, I befriend those people that are good at it. I make them, I'm like, hi, I learn their names, I learn their kids, their grandchildren, what their doctor said. I learn all that because I need their help. Yeah, what's going on with their husband? Yeah, the dog, everything. No, I do. I don't care. How to win friends and influence people in a quilt store, right? Okay, we got everything. Looks good now. And we're in to the point where we need to put everything together. So, oh, I was like, what's going on with the G squares? Okay, so here's what we're doing. Let me put this up here. I'm going to put all these down here. Put my little letters back where they go. Get myself organized. I had to go around here this morning and pick up because my room looked like a tornado went off in it. I got a hair yesterday and decided I was going to start making flying geese to the top on the outside. Decided I was going to start making potholders for me and my daughter-in-law using the On Wander Lane patterns. But I was doing applique instead of the piecing. So I was making a pumpkin potholder. Let me show you. Don't pay attention that it's off center, but this is the one I made. So I was playing with Embrilliance, and let me see, it's kind of dark. I figured out how to add stippling. I should know how to center the pumpkin. That's different. Don't pay attention. So I thought I'd make potholders every month for us. Okay, and then these go with the yellow triangle closest to the center, like this. Right? Yes. Okay. This isn't as hard as I thought it was going to be. So I'm going to sew this together like a 9 patch now, all right? And I always sew rows, block 2 to block 1 on all 3 rows first. Oh, these nest. Okay. I got a point, I got a hit here. So I'm going to pin it, flip it over, and sew it from the other side, which can get confusing, but I'm going to make it work. We're going to the coast today. I got to pick up my groceries about 9. We'll try to get out of here. Oh, probably around 1 o'clock or so. It's a 2.5 hour drive down there. We're going to see some friends we haven't seen in months and months, and I'm looking forward to it. All right. Shouldn't I do the green? You know what? It doesn't tell you to do that. Yeah, shouldn't I do the green sew and flip corner first? I guess you could, but that's not the way they said to do it. They tell you to do that last. Yeah, I guess you could. Not too late now. I've done 2 of them. Yeah, they want you to be flipping the whole block around. On the last sew and flip. That's a good point. Yeah, these look great. Look at that. That turned out good. Add pumpkin down the left side. Your pumpkin will look in. Oh, great idea. Thank you. I don't have a backing on it yet, so I can do that. Or I can put fall or something like that. Yeah. Aren't you smart? See, I love you guys. Y'all are awesome. Nobody will know. Lori Holt, does it last for less bulk in the seam? Maybe. I don't know. Hobby Lobby's got a sale on fabrics and batting by the yard. Okay. I haven't been to a Hobby Lobby in forever. I mean, I used to go all the time when I was working outside, when I worked at the base. Hobby Lobby is not too far from where I worked. But now that I don't work outside the home anymore, I haven't been to a Hobby Lobby in probably 3 years. Probably saved a ton of money too. All right. Yep, Cheryl saved the day on my offset pumpkin. I love it. I am. I'm going to put fall on there. It's great. And it'll look so cute. I'll just add some lettering. I need to figure out how to add that, the final go round for an envelope back. Okay. So what if I did the green sew and flips now? That might be a better, so I'm not flopping the whole block around. All right. I'm going to go ahead and mark these with my okay. Are you guys leaving town this weekend? Yeah. You learned so much from me. Oh, yeah, I know. My mom was the same way, Annette. She'd whip up an outfit in no time. And wear it out the next day. It was just amazing. I remember hating standing still to get my dresses hemmed. Hated it. My little legs would start to get itchy and I'd start dancing around and she'd fuss at me to quit. Am I doing that right? No, I'm not doing that right. What am I doing? I'm thinking about something else other than what I need to be thinking about. That's what's going on. You do this. Let me erase those lines. Draw a line down the middle, cut off the short side. That's what we're doing. Sew and flip again. If the ruler's corner to corner, the line is not. Mark the short side. Okay. Oh, thank y'all for the prayers for one of my Facebook moderators, Katie. She fell a couple of days ago, broke her ankle in 2 places, and asked y'all for healing prayers. And she went and got the report from the doc that where it broke was probably in the best spot. So she should heal very quickly. So that's good. Appreciate that. All right, so let's try this. I cut off the short side. Yeah. And does it fit? Of course it does. There we go. Post on a Facebook page. Yeah. Jackie, are you part of our Power Tools with Thread Facebook group? We've got over 30,000 members in there. Lots of folks. Staying home to quilt for your local quilt show this weekend. Oh, Cynthia, you're left unsupervised. Hubby went hunting. Lucky you. That's awesome. Nothing like having a weekend off of somebody saying, what's for dinner? Even if your husband cooks, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, so these green squares use the sew and flip method on the outside 4 corners. And I'm just doing it out of order because one of you brilliant people suggested I do that. So I'm doing it. Okay. Oh, good. Just got the notification for the scarecrow. Yay. Awesome. Awesome. Y'all, he was so fun to make. I really enjoyed that. And that video is beginner friendly. So if you are a seasoned embroiderer, there's timestamps down below. There's a trick to putting on the raffia. And y'all, that kit to make that is only $30. That's a deal. I was like, are you sure? She said, yeah, that's all. They're not going to try to knock your head off. So now the lady Julie at Two Chicks Quilting, she's one of the owners. She's one of the 2 chicks. She is so good with fabric. She said she's the head fabric picker outer. So she chose all of the fabrics for that scarecrow. Okay. And she did such a good job. I showed her the finished product and she was like, oh, he turned out so cute. We were FaceTiming last night. I even wore my little fall green Power Tools with Thread shirt. Put on a fall color for that video. Okay, so I did the last step before the last step. Now I'm going to put the rows together. Yeah, those turned out nice. Okay. Now I can put my rows together. Flying geese go to point to the outside. Put this. So these should nest. When I do my pinning for my nesting, I always start in the middle and then work my way out. That way things tend to fit just a little bit better. And we're not matching any 1/4-inch seams in there, which is awesome. Are we? Oh, not in the middle. We are on the outside. Okay. All right. So I've got a crisscross 1/4-inch seam right there that I got to meet with that seam line. So I'm going to go in with a pin right at the point. And I'm going to go in 1/4 inch in at that seam line. Hold the pin horizontal. And then I'm going to in one side of the seam allowance and out the other on a diagonal to hold those together. Pin it at the point. 1/4 inch in. I just eyeball that. Just make sure the fabric edges are level. This is where it gets down to it. You know, you've been working on this thing all morning. You get to your last final seams and they don't match. And you're like, oh, that drives me crazy. You already ordered 2 kits. Oh, good. You guys, that's awesome. That's supporting local quilt shops. Here we go. I hit it. Got that one. That's awesome. Perfect. That's how you do that. Okay. That's how you do that. Line up those 1/4 inch seams with the seam behind it with the pin. Start in the middle and work your way out. Yeah, they only made 30 kits, but she can cut more. For those of you that are thinking about a new machine, she's a brother dealer. And they've got that. She's got 2 Stellaires. She can ship them anywhere in the country. And she's got the Stellaire. She's got it for $7,000, $69.99. And then you can buy the upgrade kit for like $6.99. She doesn't have the upgrade kit on the site yet, or she might. She said she was going to put them up last night. So you can get that upgrade kit for $6.99. So $700, $7,000 for the Stellaire, $700. So $7,700 with the upgrade. And you literally have the new Stellaire XJ2 that's retailing for almost $12. So you're going to save a fortune by getting, she's got 2 of those machines. So if you're thinking about it, give them a call or pop in down there. Tell them I sent you. And get yourself a new machine. That thing, I think that's got that big 9x14 hoop. The upgrade has the new magnetic flat hoop, which is amazing. I got to see those at the Lone Star University embroidery at All Brands last weekend, and they are so cool. I want one. She can't ship the XJ2, the new ones, anywhere. You got to be, she's a Texas dealer for that, but the XJ1s with the upgrade, she can ship anywhere in the country. She sells scan and cuts too. All right. How we do? Here's our final one. Ha. Look at that. Nailed it. Got that. That turned out great. That one was perfect. And that one was perfect. Look at that. All right. This turned out great. All right. So I will be taking this. Let me roll you guys back a little bit. I will be taking this over to the big ironing station and putting it on my quilter's cut and press and make sure it measures out to 9.5 and press it just right. So this turned out great. This was a lot of fun. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate visiting with all of you guys. And we will get together on Tuesday. I don't know what day in September that is. Probably the 5th, maybe 4th. I don't know. Tuesday after Labor Day. Okay. So here we've got the Glisten Block, and I'm ready to add it to all of the rest that we've been making. And this has been a lot of fun. All right. We will talk to you soon. You guys go sew something. Bye.